And this is a competitive area control game where players are going to be taking on the role of different rival gangs. And this does take place in the same world as the video game, but it is not a recreation of the video game. This has its very own story and very little in common with the game other than the theme and the world. And you don't play as a single character in this game, you're actually playing as the gang as a whole, and each of the members in your gang will have their own special ability, but you'll also be able to upgrade them with different gear cards and weapon cards as the game progresses. And one thing to note here is that your units will have some different shaped bases, and this is to represent the different types of units that you have in your gang, because each of the units has a different strength, which each correlate with the 3 different ways that you can earn street cred in this game, which is your victory points. And the 3 ways that you can improve your street cred is by getting and completing different jobs, navigating the cyber network to steal information from powerful corporations, or by engaging in combat with your opponents, securing different areas on the board in a battle of area control. Each round, players will be taking turns performing 2 actions on their turn. Players will be able to deploy their different units out on different areas of the board, with each of the locations having some different opportunities depending on the scenario that you're playing and depending on the location that you're visiting. And there's also a track that you can move up on as you explore the net that will grant you some special abilities as you move up through the different ranks. And some of the actions you can do is to deploy your units out on the board, expand into other areas, and establish a hideout there, which will allow you to spawn units in that area. Or you can infiltrate different corporations through the net and steal their secrets, which essentially acts as a wild resource that you can use to complete different goals throughout the game. And you can also hire additional muscle or net runners to help you try and achieve those goals. And you can form some different alliances and then use your actions to fight and betray your opponents. Combat in this game is resolved using simultaneous reveal, where each player is going to reveal a card and it's going to have a strength value which will dictate the outcome of the battle. But then each card will also have an ability on it which can have different effects depending on how the battle unfolds, or just affect the players or the battle itself in some different ways. And there's not a lot of campaigns launching this week, so there's not a whole lot of competition, so take this for what it is, but I am making this one my pick of the week, and I do have a good reason for it. And the reason is that this game is actually doing something pretty unique that I haven't really seen before with the way that it incorporates its optional story module. If you want to, you can include the optional story module, which is going to change the behavior of the city as the game goes on and present some different opportunities and challenges to the players. And on the surface, this doesn't really seem like anything new because there are a ton of games out there that offer triggered events that affect all players. But the innovation that this adds on it is that it does offer branching stories, but this is not a choose your own adventure. No single player will be able to decide the path of the story. Instead, it's going to be determined by the collective actions of all the players. So there might be some certain threshold or a certain number of failures to activate a certain path in the story, and if the players collectively reach that limit, then it's going to trigger that path of the story. But if there's competing objectives or thresholds that could take you down another path and those get triggered first, then it could go a completely different direction from game to game. And this is where the magic lies behind the living, breathing city that this game promises to offer. And if this one sounds interesting to you, I have links to this campaign and all the others in the description below. And the first player to reach 15 street cred wins the game.